Hi everybody, this is Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and I'm here to do a Friday Reads and talk about what's been going on with my reading for the week. I almost wasn't going to do this video just because I just felt like I had already done 2 videos this week and I didn't want you to have to see me again. But I thought I would update you because I'm excited to say that I finished a book, and that makes me very happy because I'm usually chugging along at the books. So we talked about what I wanted to read for Women's History Month and for March Mystery Madness. So the first one that I finished and started was the Gabrielle Union book, and it's You Got Anything Stronger. This is her second book that's out. I enjoyed it as much as I did the first. There were some things that she went into that she had talked about in the first book, and I hope that when people the critics pull at it, that they don't specifically talking about rape, and there are trigger warnings definitely for the book for the things like that. But I think that it was good that she repeated and talked a little bit more about that situation as well. So, but I did find it really good, and I definitely had some laugh out loud moments with her. It just feels like she's talking to you, and I knew that was how that was going to be, and I figured that would be a good one to start the month off with. So I'm glad I got that. Now my question is, I don't know. I do think I know. I think what I'm going to do, although it is, I should probably start that sooner than later. But I feel like we have a couple more. How the month lays out, I feel like I might be able to pull this off, maybe. So I think I'm going to start next Unbound by Tarana Burke. From the comments, I've also heard a lot of people say that this is really good. There are definitely some tough parts in it, but very good. And I actually scored a audio edition of this on my Libby account. So I am going to pair that with this because I've heard the audio is really fantastic. I didn't look to see if it's her that's doing it, but if it is, that'll be kind of great too. So I'm going to start this one next for this weekend, and I think the other one I'm definitely going to do is start the Ida B. Wells one for the so it is, I'm actually starting with All Women's History Month, and I guess I'm going to wrap it with the mysteries. So this one I'm looking forward to. This one, I think this one's good because this one's going to be easy to pick up and put down, because if you look in it, it's got pictures, but it's got, different types of information in here for me to read. So I think that I'm hoping that this will be a pretty, I don't want to say easy process, but it will be very engaging in terms of being able to read it and easy to stop and start with it. So, and then depending upon how fast I get through Unbound, well, it's not going to happen all this weekend. Let's just talk about next week. Then I think, which one to start? We got these two. Once I get there, and now I'm talking way ahead as if I assume that I'm going to actually meet this, this goal. Should I do that, then I think I'll start this one only because I've had this one longer than I had this one. And I did talk to, one of the viewers had said that they like the idea of the 90-day policy. And I kind of want to put that in place. Like, whatever I've bought, I need to read it within 90 days. And if I do, I get a reward or a point. And after I get so many points, maybe I can reward myself with a book or, I don't know, a cup of tea or something. I don't know. But I've had this one for now. I almost think it was this time a year, last year maybe, or maybe a little later. So I do want to get to this one and read this one. So I think this will be behind that, and this will round off the month, assuming I can get all of these done. And then the other book, I keep coming across books that I have that could be great for Women's History Month that I own. And I had bought this one. I think I showed you. I think this was one of the ones I got in the Barnes & Noble race for the shelves when they were closing near me. And this one is called African-American Women in the Civil Rights Movement, Lighting the Fires of Freedom by Janet DeWart Bell, which has a really fantastic picture of these Black women. Look at them all, their hats, everything. It's really great, and in black and white on the cover. And so this one I'll read a little in the inside because, I never can tell you. They lit the fires of freedom and kept those fires alive and burning bright. The 9 African-American women who tell their stories here are the heart and soul of the civil rights movement. Unlike some male counterparts, they're not household names, but the movement could not have accomplished what it did without their fervent participation. A few had highly visible public roles. Kathleen Cleaver was the firebrand communications secretary of the Black Panther Party during the early years. Pioneering psychiatrist June Jackson Christmas served as mental health commissioner under 3 New York mayors. Myrlie Evers, we do know Myrlie Evers, I do. She's one of my heroes. Myrlie Evers helped her husband, the NAACP field secretary, Medgar Evers, behind the scenes until she was forced into the national eye by his brutal 1963 assassination. And she'd later become the NAACP national chair. And then it goes on and lists the other ladies in here. And I think I do know Diane Nash. Some of these other ladies I don't know. So this one is definitely a good one. It's actually got a couple of pages with pictures of some of the women. And so I think this would be a great book if you don't have it in your list for some history and women's history. And so that is there. And then what else was I going to tell you? I'll tell you a funny story. I mean, yesterday I went to go pick up my son, and you all know I love tea, right? So I have a rule. I usually leave at a certain time to go get them. And I have like a rule that an hour before, I can't have any tea or anything within an hour before I leave. Because I go early. I know, it's kind of funny, a funny thing about me. Like, I would rather go early with my book and sit and read in a nice spot. Because, pickup is, for some of you that do have to do pickup, it's kind of can be sometimes just so crazy. But the parking lot at this school is very small, and the parents are on crack. I tell you, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. It's not nice. It's just crazy. Like, people are driving the wrong way on the little rotary thing we have. People are just stopping, leaving their car to go get their kid, and like, you can't go until they come back to the car. Craziness like that ensues on occasion. So to alleviate that stress, I usually go about an hour early. I bring my book and I will tuck in some reading, or maybe I'll peek at Instagram, or I'll just, relax, right? But my general rule is no tea or anything within the hour before I go. So yesterday I decided when it's cold, it was just getting cold here again. I'm like, I'm just going to have a little bit of tea. And this is about 45 minutes. I drank the tea. It was lovely, 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 lovely. It was like, so that hit the spot. I get my book, grab my purse, I get into the car, I go to the car, I'm sitting in the car, I'm reading, I'm fine. Like the first half hour, I'm fine. The last, maybe the first 40 minutes. The last 10 minutes, all of a sudden, I feel this urge to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom. So I'm thinking in my head, can I hold it? And here's the other thing. I had gone, I did not want to go into the school to go to the bathroom. I was not dressed accordingly. My hair was kind of, and I had a hat on, but sometimes you can't hide everything with the hat either. And all these cars are parked out there waiting for their kids, and I'm thinking, oh no, I'm not jumping out of this car looking like this to go to the bathroom. So my ego. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, sitting in the car, and I have the seat back because once I start reading, once I get it there, I get all comfy, get the seat back. So I'm sitting there, kind of crossing, please, all the bad things I ever did as a kid, just forgive me, just let me hold this. And then, so I'm sitting there 3 minutes before the dismissal, and I'm like, please. Finally, I text my son, because they take their phones away, but they give them back to them at the end of the school day. So I text him in hopes that maybe he's going to look at his phone the first thing. Kids, when they get the phone back, what's the first thing they do? They look at it, right? So I text him, I'm like, look, Mom's going to go to the bathroom. You got to hustle, get back to the car because I need to go. I'm sitting there 1 minute before the dismissal. I see kids coming out. So I'm like, oh God, just crossing my legs again and sitting there. I'm like, should I read? Maybe I can distract myself. Don't keep looking at the door because it's going to make you anxious. So I'm sitting there. Finally, he comes out. I'm like, yes, praise the Lord. I can make it. I can do this. I can do this. It's not too far from home. He gets in the car. I'm like, get in. Come in. I'm like, I got to start the car before he's even getting buckled in. Finally buckles in. We zoom down the hill. We enter, like, it's kind of a main street. We get down the street, which is usually a hassle. And I'm like, miracle. We got out here fast. I'm going to get home. I'm going to make it. I get like 2 streets down, and I'm not kidding you, a school bus with the little red stop signs out, and they've letting or picking up people or whatever they're doing. All I know that I saw that red sign, and I'm like, no, no, this is not the time for this to happen. And so I did. The end of the story, I did manage to make it home. But let me tell you, it was like, when I got in here, I turned the car off and I was like running to get into the house. And I was like, oh my God, never again. Why I decided yesterday I was just going to take a chance on the tea is beyond me. I know it tasted lovely and I was cold. Next time, moral of the story, put a sweater on and wait until you come back from pickup, because anything could happen. And a teacher could have held him and wanted to talk to him. And, I could have gone into the school. Let's all say that I could have done it. And I could have just sucked up. Look, this was such a bad hair day, guys. And, I'm not really dressed professionally, but I'm coming in to use your toilet. But I really just wanted to go home. So, yeah, that was my funny story yesterday. Today, I will not be touching anything caffeinated or even water before time to pick up, because I will not have that happen again. But it is just like, when it rains, it pours. Things like that always seem to happen. I'm like, what? And on that route back, which we go all the time, I think no, I don't even think this year I've seen a school bus. If I see it, it's in motion. Maybe I'm missing the time when they stop to drop off or pick up at that point. But I had never seen it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Because the next thing you know, I'm going to see somebody that's got to go really slow across the street, or I don't even know. So that was my day. So anyway, what are you reading this weekend? I said I wasn't going to take up too much time in my head. Didn't say it out loud, but now I am. I will be looking at this and this weekend. I think I'm excited about it. I'm very excited to get started with this, to learn this. And the funny thing is, now that I've chosen her for my 2022 person, I'm hearing about her everywhere. I told you that I heard Nicole Hannah Jones talk about her, and I was like, well, hey, if she says so, I'm gonna, I need to learn more about Ida. But ironically, when listening to this, she mentions, and she was reading some material about her, and I'm like, okay, then it's just all the signs are aligning, saying that Ida and I are going to spend 2022 together. So if you know of any other books, like I said, I have this one in the Big Chunkster, but any other things I like to, or articles or things that and I'm going to look in the back here too to see what they have for references, because sometimes, they'll show you some different places where they got their sources. So, yeah. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It is supposed to be pretty cold today, and then it's supposed to get warm with rain. And so it's a kind of a good weekend to get some reading done. My kids have their science fair this weekend, so I won't get interrupted. So I should be able to, get a really good start into this and this as well. So have a great weekend, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.